now we understood how Git works locally, the file name that we added and then we committed. Now what we will do is just in the Git that you have locally, just think about adding a GitHub layer, that is the cloud layer, where we have a lot of codes, repositories that we need to clone, or we need to push our own code to that particular repository. Going back to this particular thing, it can be a lot of Git providers are there. We are just taking example of GitHub, because it is one of the most used Git repositories that are there. So now suppose you have your code in your local computer that we saw in the previous video. Now what we do is just we do a git push. We use the command git push on our command platform, and the code goes to the repository. And now suppose you want one particular file in your local folder to work with, and you can do git pull. And also in the next videos, if you have a whole repository that you want to copy, like here there is GitHub repo 1. You can also do git clone github repo 1, and you will have a new folder that is created in your C script git repo 1, so that is able to clone the whole repository that is there. So now what happens that you are able to play around with the process, but we need to still understand that we need to go through, if you are working in a local system, you need to go through add dot. You need to add it first to the staging area, then you need to add it to your local repository .git, then only you can push or pull it. Git pull, push, but when you pull it, it will not go to the staging area, it will directly come to your local folder where you can work. And again, if you want to push it, then you need to go through this particular areas. One thing more we wanted to understand, that how Git actually works is we need to understand it is a decentralized version control model. First we need to understand what is centralized version control. So any example that you take of your Dropbox, of your OneDrive that is there, suppose the files that are there in our local directory, what happens? This is your local computer and this is your Dropbox. So what happens, or OneDrive or any of the you will only be having the latest version of your file. If you have done any changes and you just upload it in that particular space, you will only get one particular you can say box. So just think of this as a very simple example. If I can just think of this as a Dropbox or a OneDrive, that you cannot go back and take the file that you had Word document or file that you have changed 1 week back in your OneDrive or Dropbox, because you will only get the latest file. So this is centralized version control, because we are only getting the last version. We don't know, suppose these two versions, you don't have any idea how this is getting saved. But in Git, if you are using the Git thing, and suppose you do any suppose you here you will only get the last. If you are using a Dropbox or OneDrive, you will only get the last version. But now, if we want to play around with, if we want to, we will only get the last version, so we will not get the previous version. But now if we go to the distributed version control, that is how Git works. So not only you will get this is your local computer, then this is the another computer. Suppose you do 3 different versions of a particular file, and the other person, or later on you want to do a Git clone of this whole repository, you will get all the versions that you see 1, 2, 3 within your Git. So this makes a Git a very good way to track the changes of the code, and we will see in details in the next video what are the process that you need to do to make sure that the Git is process is followed, and what practices you need to follow when you are doing a commit. So we have something called as adding comments and all those things to make sure what you have changed, so it can be tracked by the team as well. So hope you enjoyed the video, and Git is not that tough if you know these basic principles. If you keep practicing these things about adding, committing, push, pull, and understanding the whole ecosystem and why this is important. Thank you, and see you in the next video.